I'm YOHJI van der AA. I studied at Artes and I'm a fashion designer. The internship I did at Monique van Heijs was one of the most influential ones I did because she taught me how to research for clothing, in case that if you want to make a trench coat, you first have to define the definition of the trench coat, and you have to do research. What are the details? What is the meaning? What can I change? And that's stuff that I still do when I'm designing a collection. I'm thinking about archetypes that I want to design, and I'm really focusing on, okay, what is it? What's the material? What are the details? How can I change it? Is there a sort of construction that is fixed that I can change? So yeah, in that sense it's really influential. And also the way how I look at fashion. Monique van Heijs doesn't do seasonal collections, but it's more like an ongoing process, and I think that's very interesting in the times that we're living in now. And I think it's a sort of new movement that we're stepping away more and more from seasonal thinking. I mean, if you think about the globe, you got the north and south, and seasons are always opposite, but through internet we're always connected. So I think in seasons, you know, it's a new way, and those kinds of methods, like really being analytical and critical about fashion, that's really what I've learned at Monique van Heijs. Yeah. Yeah, Monique van Heijs was really small, in a way, very conceptual way of dealing with the fashion system, and at Victor & Rolf you're making high-end fashion. But what I've learned there is how to create the specific detailing that menswear collections need. It's working with millimeters and creating the perfect shape, and really focusing on that, and really focus on being super precise. Yeah. Dressing is a really big part of creating your identity and showing who you want to be. And I think it's really interesting because we got a lot of subcultures, we got a lot of different styles now, and I mean, you dress where you feel comfortable with. So I dress always in black skinny jeans and always like a plain t-shirt because I feel comfortable wearing it. The project with the shirts I'm doing now is with a friend who I was with in art school, and we always said that we wanted to work together and make an item. So we're making a shirt right now. It came up as a fun idea, but it's starting to work out like a nice little project that we're running at the moment. The materials that I work with are pretty much classic. You can consider them as classic fabrics. And there's always nice thin wools, there's always a good shirt cotton, and also technical fabrics. I really like nylons, polyesters. For me, the designing sometimes also start like with finding a material that I'm like, I really love this, it would be such a cool jacket and I've never seen it before. Sometimes the material is so special that you can simplify the design with the fabric choices, but overall they're really classic fabrics. It's not that I have one specific place. I mean, I got a few fabric stores in Holland that I really like, where I know I can find a good wool or a good cotton. But I also go to the market sometime every Saturday morning and stroll around there because there are always hidden treasures. The oversized coat. I really myself oversized coats, and I love to design them. It provides the wearer of a sort of, in my opinion, a sort of coolness. You know how people in the 50s and 60s wore their big overcoats over their suits, and I love big coats. It's really like a pad, because my first collection that I did, the DNA one, it was also already about dressing, but in the end it turned out as one concept, one idea that I worked out. And then Redux started to get more different ingredients already, and I didn't design it as a fixed outfits. It were more like separate pieces that through styling came together, and Sync was really like the for me the 2.0 version of what Redux was. So I really tried to work with as much ingredients as I could handle in my head, and to be really like free and create pieces and then create a sort of an image around it, and showing the possibilities of wearing instead of creating fixed images. So and I think that's a really, for me, it's a really nice way of designing, because you can have a lot of options open till you decide it's done, and it's sort of it's not fixed, and I like the idea that stuff is not fixed in that sense. So it's more like a process, it's an ongoing process that has to stop at a certain point when you think enough is enough. In that way they relate to each other. For me it's more like it shows how my vision is developing. Yeah. Well, I'm busy with collaboration with a friend with the shirts. After I graduated, I started getting more interested in women's wear, so it's gonna be a collection that has both sexes in it. And further, I cannot really say anything more because it's really small still in my mind, and I'd rather not talk about all the influence that I might use and then in the end not. So I have to define the idea, but there will be some new stuff coming. I'm still designing collections for myself, or if that all doesn't work out or I get a great offer, I will be working in another company. Still consider myself as young, so if I would be on top now, it would be a bit early.